Yo, what up, guys? Beside me here, wishing you a happy new month and a happy week as we start this Monday. I want to take a look at two new pieces of information that is dropping this morning in Raid Shadow Legends. The first one will regards to two champions that are getting rebalanced in the next coming update, and the next one is regarding this CVC tournament that you see coming up. There will be a 15x progressive chance event coming up, and we're about to see the champions that are available for that. If you're one of those players who like to go very competitive in these clan vs clan tournaments and pull shards with high hopes of getting these champions and then of course helping your clan win the CVC. So the first piece of information is regarding this whole clan vs clan tournament. Easily 400k points if you save resources. If you did not, you can open old fragments or whatever. But these are the champions that are going to be on the list right here. I'll pop them on screen so you can see their names. You have one slot for legendaries, and you also have 2 days, one slot on Tuesday, one slot on Wednesday. So CVC starts tomorrow and you have one slot. Depending on which champions you want, you might want to pull on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Remember, this is not a normal shard opening event for just anybody. No, that was this weekend where we all enjoyed 2x events. This is only for whales who like to pull shards during CVC or who are desperately looking for these champions. The first one on the list is Gaiath, the Truth Shield, White Queen Ankora, amazing champion who I very enjoy in live arena right now. Python and OG, Green Warden, Ruach I know nothing about, and then that's all from ancient shards, primal shards, and secret shards. As for the void legendary champions, Mariska the Unbreakable is available on Tuesday, and Osoga the War Color is also available from void shards. Then if you don't like any of those champions, or you're not close to Messi, or you just don't want to pull on Tuesday, you can go ahead and see if you'll be lucky on Wednesday, where Ignot, Lady Kimi, Valkyrie, Lysandra are available from ancient shards, primal shards, and secret shards. Then from void shards you have Yumeko and Carilon the Ringer. Now I see Yumeko as a void legendary, and Gnot will be the two that most people would most likely want in that Wednesday shard opening of 15x. Remember, if you don't get that legendary when you get your first legendary, if you don't get any of this one on the list that you put in there, your chances of getting them will be boosted to 20x. If you still pull another legendary, you still don't get them, your chances of getting them will be boosted to 25x. So that's why most endgame players like to swipe the card, buy shards this time around, and try to see if they can get their high chance of getting a Gnot or a Lysandra, or a Yumeko for themselves. So that's what this special 15x progressive chance is all about for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now on to the next piece of information, which will be a champion rebalance for two champions that are not really complained about much. People just looked at them and like, well, if I use them in City of Centranos, that's okay for me. If I bring them into arena sometimes, that's okay for me. The first one is going to be Loriaka. Great Hoof Loriaka is getting rebalanced. It's kind of a buff, but we like to call it a rebalance because sometimes it brings their skill a little bit down, sometimes it makes them even more better. So it will be up to you to decide whether this will make this champion worthy to be used for you or not. But first, I'll tell you what Raid says about this entire rebalance that is coming, so it doesn't seem like I'm projecting my own opinion about this champion onto you. I know nothing about this champion, to be sincere. So because I've not even built this champion for anything apart from City of Centranos, where I currently use this champion for some stages. So they say with the rebalance of Great Hoof Loriaka, their main goal was to shift our focus from providing providing more utility aid for the team PvE battles with the help of new buffs and debuffs in her skill set. So she's not just going to be changed a little bit, they are going to add new buffs for her to her skill set, as well as getting even more turn meter boost. Her A1 will now boost her turn meter by 10% for each stolen buff. Currently, each hit has a 40% chance of stealing one random buff. It doesn't have any turn meter boosting. So now they are going to add turn meter boosting for her by using this A1 for each stolen buff, right? So if she steal one buff, she get a turn meter 10% turn meter feel. If she steal two, she get a 20% turn meter feel. So if it to fill her turn meter by 10% for each buff stolen, that's the change that will be added to this A1 for Loriaka. That's useful, right? That's gonna be very useful. You might not want to use that for teams where you are very speed tuned, because she'll just be buffing, boosting her turn meter and make your tune go out of sync, right? So that's for the A1. Her A2, in addition to decreased defense, which it currently has, right? Decreased resistance, not defense. Decreased resistance where it currently has. Decreased accuracy debuff. Will it be added to it? It will now place decreased accuracy. Yeah, that's what will be added. So it's not just decrease resistance of the enemy, it will also now decrease their accuracy also. Hopefully for 2 turns. Yes. This skill will now place a 50% decrease resistance debuff and a 50% decrease accuracy buff, all for 2 turns. That's amazing. The second part of this skill says it fills this champion turn meter by 10% for each of this skill, right? But now it will say fill this champion's turn meter by 10% for each debuff placed by this skill. So this will not just be 10% for only decrease resistance, for each debuff. So she's gonna place 2 debuffs on the enemies, decrease resistance and decrease accuracy. Fill this champion turn meter by, it will be up to 20% now since she places 2. Remember, this is an AoE skill. Fills this champion turn meter by 10% for each debuff placed. That means if she does it for like 4, 5, 10, 7, 5, 6, 4, 5 enemies, she'll get a turn meter filled really back to 100%, because that's like what, 10 debuffs out there, or 8. She'll just get a turn meter almost full. Those who use this champion will already know how it works, because it AoE makes it champion already almost gets the turn meter feel as if she's stealing their turn meter. But no, she gets turn meter 10% for each debuff. That means if she places 8 debuffs, that's going to be a 80% turn meter feel. This champion is going to get a lot of turn meter and take a lot of turns. That A2 will now be a lot useful for sure. Now the final part of her A3, they said her A3 will aid allies in placing debuffs from more consistently by debuffing the team with 50% decreased accuracy in addition to its current effects. So her A3 currently places block debuff buff for 2 turns. It will now also, where is it? It will now also increase accuracy buff on all allies. So she's placing block debuff buff on us, so we don't get stunned and all a bunch of stuff, and it will also increase our accuracy. This champion just became a lot more useful. Like, they didn't just change one thing or change 2 things, they just added increase accuracy to her, added decrease accuracy to her, added something to her A1. This champion just became awesome. They didn't touch her passive. Her passive will stay as it is, nothing is done to the passive. But her A1 changed, her A2 changed for the better, and A3 also changed. So that's grateful Floriaka. I know that those who already have this champion built and use her in a lot of content will see these changes and find it very useful. And yeah, it will be amazing to see what people have to say about it. Now, the next second champion that is being changed or buffed or rebalanced is going to be one from the Shadow King faction who has been forgotten. His name is Jing1, and that's one that I do not own. And let me tell you what Raid says exactly how they want to change. They say with the upcoming changes, Jing1's role will shift from HP tank towards more of a support type champion. I'm not sure how people will feel about that, but his reworked kit will grant Jing1 more control over his enemies. So it's my more CC, a chance to land a stun in addition to AoE attack that prolongs debuff, increase duration of debuffs, a chance to remove all enemy buffs, and finally more useful debuffs in his arsenal. So that's exactly what they say. I don't own this champion. So from his A1 they say additionally has a 50% chance of placing stun on the target enemy for 1 turn. It currently just transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. It doesn't do stun right now, so they will add an A1 stun. It will be a 50% chance of placing a stun on the target. That's this crowd control that they are talking about. So, and then at the A2, A2 was transformed into an AoE attack, which extends the duration of all debuffs. Currently, it's a single target hit that has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target, and also does all these other things. Now it will be an AoE attack, and attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the enemies by 1 turn. That's what is being added to it. It will also place block active skills, block active skills debuff, block buff debuff, block buff debuff. I always get it mixed up. For 2 turns. Cooldown will now be on 5 turn cooldown instead of 4 turn cooldown. Because they made it an AoE skill, they increased the duration of that cooldown to 5 turn. Of course, you can always book it down to a 3-turn cooldown, right? Yes. So you spend 2 books, it will now be on a 3-turn cooldown since it's no longer a single target skill. And now I see that the block artist skill debuff will now be for 2 turns. Initially, block artist skill was for an entire 3 turns, and this skill also used to. That's if the target is under decrease accuracy debuff or crit damage debuff. So that was conditional. Also places block artist skills for debuff for 3 turns if the target is under this or this. So that condition has been removed. It will no longer only place that block artist skill when decrease accuracy or decrease crit damage is on the enemies. It will just happen along with the increased duration of all debuffs that you're supposed to do for the allies. For the enemies. So it's like champion wound all of a sudden needs a lot of accuracy. I don't know if people building for damage or just like a card control A1 stunt now, and now a bunch of increased duration of buffs, AoE this and block buff debuff for 3 turns when you book it down. Like somebody that could be definitely using the Hydra. Increased duration of all the debuffs on the Hydra heads, and then making sure that they don't get any buffs on them. That's great. That's great. This champion just became a lot more useful from a single target champion to now AoE for all the Hydra heads. That's one content where I know that block buff debuff is useful a lot, and where you also want to decrease the duration of debuffs on the Hydra heads a lot. So of course it's going to be useful in every other content. So what about the A3? His A3 first hit will now remove all buffs from the enemies. What was it doing before? First hit has a 80% chance of placing. The second hit has a 25% chance, 80% chance of placing decreased crit damage debuff for 2 turns and strengthen. But anyways, it will now be an AoE skill, right? It's still an AoE skill. It's A3 first hit will now remove all buffs from the enemies, and the second hit will place 50% decreased accuracy and the decreased crit damage debuff for 2 turns. Moreover, its 25% strengthening will now be placed on all allies. So what is being changed about that now is also places. Let me scroll that to that A3 skill. Power flare, right? Yes, that's it. It will remove all debuffs from all enemies. Right now, it doesn't say anything about removing all debuffs from the enemies. Right now, as it is, it just tries to place decreased accuracy, decreased crit damage. So it doesn't try to remove any debuff. So now it will try to remove the debuff before. So the first hit will remove the debuff, just like a Mighty Uko does, remove the debuff, and then place decreased accuracy, and then the other decreased crit damage, which it already has, and then the strengthen, which will be placed on us or allies for 2 turns. Initially, he used to place that strengthen on this champion, on himself alone for 2 turns. Now he places that strengthen on everybody for 2 turns. So these are all good changes that are coming to this champion, and I had to really sit down and listen and break this one down so I can understand whether they are good changes or not. Obviously, these are amazing changes for Jingguan and Loriaka. So why only 2? Why not just do a bunch of champions? Because that's how they've set their calendar and their calculators to always do these changes for us, and this is a very, very welcome one. Does it mean that he suddenly becomes a worthy void legendary champion that when you obtain him you're not so pissed anymore? I don't think those are enough to make him a worthy legendary, but definitely there'll be content where he shines the most right now. So that's the new changes that are coming to raid for Jingguan and Loriaka. Let me know in the comments which one do you think is most impactful amongst the 2, the void legendary Jingguan or Loriaka, and if you use them in any content, does this change anything for you? I think I would have to give Loriaka a test now and actually spend books on her, because she just became amazing. Initially I didn't want to book her, Loriaka, grateful for him, but now I definitely will. So that's the 2 content that are coming to raid soon. Champion rebalances, and of course the CVC that does have personal rewards. So I'll be trying to hit that 400 personal reward mark, 400k personal reward mark again, and see, like I did last week, let me see if I have resources to do it week for week, back to back. We really don't like when they do personal rewards back to back, but for those who have excess resources, who had to stop pushing the last time, we are ready to go again and push this time around. Even if I might not be able to do it from the forge, I might be able to do it from any other resources. Definitely not from shards, because I'm saving my shards for the upcoming fusion. Speaking of fusions, we currently have the fusion warm-up event counting down right now. All you have to do is go there, level up some artifacts to 12 or so, and then get the points. Even if you're not going for this fusion, if you're still on the fence, if you think it's going to be trash, I just want this ancient shard right now, and don't miss it. Don't miss a day. You can miss a day, but I advise you don't. So Dungeon Divers still going along with the Spider tournament. I'm not quite pushing that yet, but I would really love to get to this primal quartz for that content. As for all these other gold, platinum, and diamond chests, I was asked on stream. I checked the rewards. When you click on it, I don't think it was worth getting to 5,000 mark for a legendary skill tone, or the reward that they put right here. So it's not totally not worth it. And this one is just an ancient shard at this level 3000 Dungeon Divers point. But if you're farming the spider already, not because of the special Green Tribes faction accessories you're getting from the spider, but at least because you want silver, you want new accessories, then maybe you can slowly get to that Dungeon Divers point if you have nowhere else to spend your energy and resources. So I'm currently farming some masteries on some champions I needed to do a champion guide on, while I also wait for the fusion to launch in 4 days, right? I think 4 days. So Fire Night just counted down and started, or was it? Yeah, Fire Night just started, and while I was chasing this classic arena, I don't know if it's just my end game account or everybody in raid. This classic arena did have 6-star 6 pieces of relentless set. Normally we say classic arena rewards are not worth it, at least for that first position, right? So we don't even bother to go for it. We just try to claim our rewards right here and end. So go back to your game and check if your classic arena has 6-star 6 pieces of relentless set. Even if you don't get the first position, check out the third position, still have 6-star rare relentless set. This is a very important set in raid, and this is the only way to obtain it, by winning tournaments like this. And classic arena is one that most people just ignore. So we have somebody chasing me all the way since yesterday, and I keep pushing, because you get those arena tokens and you just let them expire. So why not just go in there, put a one-man weak defense like this, so you can always find weak teams to beat whenever you hit that refresh button, and slowly fight your way. Always finish your arena tokens as they refill, and slowly you'll find yourself at the top leaderboard, first, second, or third position, winning that 6 pieces of 6-star relentless set. This is what I'm going for. So even if I don't win it from Spider, from other Dragon tournaments, at least for Classic Arena, it's a win for me, because it doesn't require me to spend gems and energy and stuff. It's just something, free tokens that I have to hit refresh and get. So that's what my day is up to, prepping for a fusion, spending some resources in game. Yesterday when they announced this Altar of Souls summoning event, I didn't think it was something hyper. I didn't want to promote it. Why? Because they did say it will boost your chances of getting a what do you call them now, perfect souls, 6-star perfect soul from immortals. Yes, it will boost it, and then from 5 to 6-star perfect soul from mortals. So I do have enough to see if I can get me something, but at the same time I don't want to get more 45 right here to add to this number. What am I saving for? Normally we know right now that these mortal soul stones, or immortal soul stones, or eternal soul stones, is one way we used to complete those Titan events or those Hero Spark events, because whenever they launch those type of events, they add soul stone summoning to it sometimes, and it gives you a champion, or it gives you a perfect soul for a fusion that just ended or something, you know, one of those ones that gives you points for this based on those things. So I want to use these resources to get those champions or those perfect souls. I don't want to play their game right here and see what my logs will look like, because I feel like I just get rares. So I don't want to play this game, even if it's a boosted chance right now. You can see 5 to 6-star, 2x chance of getting perfect soul. So if you're a new player in raid, this is the best time. Go over there and summon all your mortal soul stones. I'll probably do it right now in this video for the Look to Pro. Look to Pro is chilling right here, over here on the corner, and it does have some, so there's no need to save on an account like this, because obviously I don't have enough to go for those type of endgame events. So I'll go ahead and see what I can get at Epic. Check your wish list, make sure you set it up well. I'll do a 10 pull over here, because I don't want to do on mine, so let me just pop this one so I can see what I can get. This is the best time to do it. I just maybe it still has how many days to go. It says on Monday, 1st July, that's when it starts. It lasts for an entire 72 hours. So I still have some time to decide what I want to go for this or not. But for now, it's not looking like something I'm very crazy about. So if you got anything amazing from your summoning, let me know in the comments. Oh, we did get something right here. That's a 1-star champion. So that's all that is happening in raid. Hopefully I covered everything. Yeah, good luck to all of you summoning or you're taking advantage of this awakening boost. Remember, Eternal Soul Stones is not boosted, so please save your Eternal Soul Stones. I'm gonna save it for sure for those special events that will give me 7,500 points for summoning an Eternal Soul Stones. That's when I want to use them. So I might open some on stream. So join me on Twitch. Let's maybe open only this 66, twitch.tv/Bridge5D. I'll go live maybe for an hour or two and just chill and hang out and do more raid things. So that's all that is happening in raid. Hopefully I covered everything. I'll see you guys tomorrow when CBC kicks off. I'll be live on stream trying to get my 400,000 points again in CBC with personal rewards, all free to play. All right, later guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily raid content. I'll see you guys in the next one.